Oh, good morning, or should I say good afternoon. Was up to about 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. last night, and I am out of it today. Welcome to build day 25, I believe it is. Got the AC done yesterday, and as you saw from the wonky video, and that video was bad. We lost some footage on the camera, and you guys were getting whipped around all over the place. Segments were not really tied into each other, so it came out looking kind of weird. And I apologize for that. But as you saw yesterday, we got the AC done. We did a walkthrough of the haunt last night with just the AC, and there was a lot of dark spots. I have one or two little things that need to be fixed, which we will get to between now and opening sometime. My main concern right now is getting the LED lighting done and all the low voltage stuff, which is our thing for today. So with that in mind, we are going to get going. I just got the truck moved and the blow-ups plugged in. First order of business is I've got to get this shelf cleaned out so I can bring the power station out, and I gotta get the bench off the front porch, which is going to be fun, getting the bench off the front porch, because it needs to go out front through all the tight hallways without destroying things. So we got that to do. I've got to get the speakers out for the scuba-boo boards, the LED lighting itself. And what we're going to do is we are going to start way out front at the entrance, and we're going to work our way through the haunt. Display by display. As the LED lighting and scuba-boo boards go in, we're going to come back through and get them all hayed. You know, get the hay in the displays. And then we'll turn those sets over to the wife for her to do her finishing touches. I have no idea how far we're going to get today, if we're going to get anywhere. So that's kind of what we got planned. Oh, and breakfast of the day. Cocoa Pebbles and toast. We'll go the cheap way. Heck with handmade and donuts. Cocoa Pebbles and, yeah, what'd I say? Cocoa Pebbles and toast. So, here we go, folks. Another long day. Well, I haven't gotten any lights hung yet. Been busy trying to get all the supplies together. We got the power station out. It's plugged in and working. We got all 10 of the scuba-boo boards out, along with their sensors. That tub holds all my LEDs. We got speakers out, we got foggers out, and I got clamp lights out, and there's 10 of them. The reason why I got them out, remember I was doing the LED light project? Ran into a couple of small problems. Main one, I ran out of the correct solder. So I can't finish the project without the solder. I checked on eBay and a couple other places, and they're all saying delivery right at or on Halloween, which is too late. I need it like tomorrow. And there's no one local anymore, since Radio Shack went bankrupt, that sells the correct solder. So I'm going to have to order it, which means the LEDs are not going to get done for this year. I'll be working on those over the winter. So, got to revert back to doing clamp lights, which means I need to get those in and wired in, which I think I'm going to tackle first. Then we're going to get in and start doing those LEDs. Oh, and I got one of my spools of wire. There's about 800 feet of wire there, and I got another roll of about 1,000 feet. Plus I got the stuff left over from last year that I can piecemeal in. So, not very short on work. I got lots of it and 5 days to do it in. Alright, first project done. We got the clamp lights in. They're wired up to power. Now tonight I'll come in and I've got to get them kind of aimed. We want them shining right up the crease where the trees meet. And I got 10 of them in there. But I wired them up to the peepers. So now it's just a matter of aiming it. Alright, now next project, we are going to move out to the facade, the front of the haunt. And we need 4 floodlights, 2 for each of the big signs, and 4 spots to go on the entrance and enter and exit signs. So I need to get those wired in. And it's a matter of taking the LEDs out there, attaching them, and then running wire from the power station all the way out there and tying them in. Fun. Now I've got, as I mentioned, about 1,800 feet of wire still on the spool. Before I get into really start using that, I've got this wire here, and this is left over from last year. And what we do is when we tear down the haunt, I have lengths of wire that run from the power station out to whatever spot it's going to. That doesn't get tapped into, doesn't get broke or anything. So we clip those off, save them. And then on the following year, like this year, I've got to get in here, untangle all this, and we'll use this to do a lot of our feeds and stuff. And then when I run out of this, we'll switch over and use this stuff on the pole. We end up using about 1,200 feet of speaker wire altogether to run the low voltage and to run speakers. So it can be interesting. But the fun part is, I gotta get this all untangled before I can use it, because it is going to be a mess as soon as I break the zip ties off of it. So I got a sit down job. I can have a stogie and play with a wiring mess. Hey guys. As you see, it's dark. You've had your opening, and I haven't done squat as far as videoing today. So I wanted to come out and give you a look at what we have gotten done. I am out in front of the haunt. I don't know if it's showing up at all, but we've got the LEDs up here on the exit sign showing up. We've got the enter sign, and I'm probably not getting very good video. We've also got the floodlights on our rules, so it's all lit up, and more importantly, our hours. So I'll have these on every night from now until opening, and then while we're open, of course, that way people can see what hours and stuff that we're open. That was the first circuit I ran today. Then we got our LED stained glass, and those are not LED but RGBs. And then we got the graveyard lit up. Oh, and Fred's working. But I'm not really sure how the graveyard is showing up with the colored lights and stuff in there. Probably will need my other camera to get a good view of it. Oh, hush, bucket mouth. We got that. And then I've been working over here in the mausoleum. You can hear the sound playing. Now it's back to its ambient track. Crypt is not going off. It is not the scuba-boo board. I am going to have to open it up and take a look at the wiring in there. So I'm going to be debugging that. I still need to get in here and get LEDs on the fencing and everything. My stained glass light boxes I've got in there are way too bright. I'm going to need to dim them down, and I haven't done that yet. But right now, I'm going to get back in there and debug the crypt and see why it is not firing. It should be firing. So, but anyway, that's what we've been working on. It's going on about 9, and I'm going to stay out here for a while and play around a little bit more and see what I can get done. Well, I've been messing around with the crypt. You can see the light there coming out of it, which is good. See if we can get this tripped. And the sensor is dead. Well, not sensor, but the crypt is dead. Fogger is working. It's just on a recharge cycle, and it looks like I'm going to have to get back in there. You can see the wires. I don't want the wires shown. Hold on 1 second. Hey, it's official. 20 minutes later. Check my connection to the scuba-boo board. Connection's fine. Made sure it was plugged in. That's fine. Check the brick. Its power light is on, and I even unplugged it from the from the windshield wiper motor, and was able to get the arc from tip to tip just slightly, or spark for a second. And so I've got power. It's the motor's dead, and I need to replace it. I think I might have a spare one in my shop, but for right now my wife's saying so too. She kind of likes this effect with it just red, and then the fogger comes on if it runs its full cycle. It's not, it's going through reheat and everything else, but it fills up the box and then it just kind of wafts out. It's a nice effect. I do need to get the stained glass in there though dimmed down considerably. Anyway, I got that done. That leaves for this display. I got LEDs along the fencing out here that I need to do. I'm going to try to get that done before I call it quits, because it's going on about 10, so it's going to be a late night tonight. I'm actually having some fun with it, so. Well, end of the day wrap up. Wanted to apologize for lack of footage, or just progress was just real slow today. Haven't been moving very quick. In fact, I feel more mentally awake now than I did all day long. Though my body's starting to wear out, I'm starting to move slower and slower, so I knew it's time to quit. We got the LEDs lighting on the facade out front. Showed you a clip of that. We got the got them into the cemetery as well. We got the can lights in the arborvitae along the driveway. I showed you that. And we made it into the mausoleum. Got the scuba-boo board in. And Tim, it's working like a dream. It's beautiful. It's got the fogger going, and we got some sound effects in there. And I'm happy with that. I do need to replace that windshield wiper motor. But my wife, on the other hand, is telling me not to. She likes the box just kind of cracked open so you can see the hands on the inside, the red lights, and having the fog whiff out. She likes it better that way than having the box banging up and down. So I don't know if I'll replace it or not. That's one prop I've been thinking about retiring as it is. It's old. I made it back in 2011. Yeah, I think it was 2011. So it's one of my older props. It's been through hell. Let's see. Oh, I got my remotes out for my light boxes, and I've got those set to the way I want them. Doing it a little bit different. I've got it on a slow fade. In other words, it changes colors, but it does it real slow. And I did that on the one at the entrance, the one in the graveyard, and the one across from the mausoleum. The two in the mausoleum, since it was so bright in there, I went and set them to a darker color, and then lowered it down so it wasn't so bright in there, and that helped a lot. I did get the LEDs mounted on the fencing for the mausoleum. They're just not wired up. I had a 4-foot light fixture left over from the black room, or the blacklight room. So we mounted it in above the attack spider, above the ceiling panel. We wanted to see what type of effect we get from it. And the ceiling panel, let's put it this way. The black light is affecting the wall panels, because I had some fluorescent green on it. But with the ceiling panel between the light and the wall panels, they weren't glowing as much, and I didn't like it. So I moved it. I put it right over the spider on top of the ceiling panel, or the ceiling panel's between it and where it's attached. Anyway, the light fixture's visible now, but the panels are glowing more, and I like that. And now I got a better idea where I need to mount my UV floods at in there. That was another reason why I waited to do it tonight. Tomorrow's projects. We need to wire up the mausoleum LEDs. Then we're going to move into the spider display and start getting it wired up for light. I've got 2 scuba-boo boards that I'm going to be putting in there. One for the bouncer and jumping spider, and the other one for the attack spider. I doubt that I'm going to be putting a fogger in that display this year, though the attack spider is supposed to have a fogger with it. I'm not sure if I want a fogger in with that one this year, since we got a fogger in the mausoleum. I don't know, I might. Be interesting having the fog go off and having that spider lunging through it. I don't know, it's something I'm going to have to think about. Not overly sure where else to go from there. Oh, I've got, like I said, I've got the LED lighting in the spider displays, and then I've got the 2 scuba-boo boards. Now I've also got to get, though I have the air lines ran to the back of the tent, they're not hooked up to the storage tanks, and the compressor's not hooked up to the tanks because the tanks aren't out. I gotta get the air going tomorrow. If I'm going to be doing the scuba boards in the spiders displays, I gotta make sure those things work. That way the wife can get in there and do her final cobwebbing. So I'll probably be running, playing with air a little bit tomorrow. But that's kind of the plan of attack right now, the mausoleum and spider display. And the spider display, just for the nature of having the air in there, I've got to screw with. Probably going to take a good chunk of the day tomorrow. This little courtyard area here won't take long at all. I've got to get the doorway mounted there and get the its fire and ice light into place. I probably won't mount the door. I'll probably just set the door into place. That way tomorrow night we can do a test shot on it and see what it looks like. Clown display, I'm not putting any LEDs in that. I do have 2 low voltage strobe lights I do need to get wired up. I also need to get the scuba-boo board installed in the clown display and play with the air a little bit, so it's probably going to take a while. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I say stay spooky and stay toxic.